Hello everyone and welcome again to my YouTube channel where I delve into different aspects of my writing, most particularly my novels. You probably know by now I'm a horror novelist. That's my main bag, and my last video was on the theme of my horror novel, the Cornwall Ghost Story. I would like to read another excerpt from that, but before I do, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you like the content I'm putting out. Click the bell for all the notifications so you received all the updates, and also give it a thumbs up if you enjoy the video. Okay, so now I would like to read from chapter 3 from the Cornwall Ghost Story. And here again, as in my previous video on this theme, the story revolves around Fiona Noble and a search for what happened to George Avine, the sailor, as she tries to help out the spirit of George's wife, Esmeralda, trying to find out what happened to him, because they were never reunited after he was lost at sea. So this is chapter 3 then, and it goes. This is Fiona speaking. George survived! He managed to get off that ship before it sank and swam ashore despite the raging sea which stood between him and safety. The Nobles were spending their morning on a shopping outing in a quaint-looking town nearby. They were strolling through the local market square when Fiona gave Alan the news neither of them had expected. Well, that is a surprise, mused Alan. I never would have thought he would have made it. Oh, I know you were keen that he should, but realistically speaking, it seemed unlikely, especially the way you described that violent sea and the fact that the ship was breaking apart as you looked on. I know, I couldn't believe I was able to swim to safety, but then he looked a sturdy fellow. Even so, he would have taken a real strength of will to survive in that stormy sea. Which begs the question, how did you know it was him? In the same way I knew it was Esmeralda's reflection I was looking at when I came across that letter from the Navy. I could sense it was him. He had an officer uniform on, for one thing. Yes, but that's not saying much. You do realise how many officers would be on a naval ship. Fiona nodded. But it's more than that. More than even the fact that he was a young man, which would tie in with how youthful his bride was. No, it was the sensation which went through me more than anything which pegged him in my mind as undoubtedly George. What sensation? The same one I had when I read that letter, and the same one I had when I first caught sight of his ship capsizing. I tell you, this Esmeralda seems to be a part of me now. She's directing my every move. And you don't find that in the least bit unsettling? Wondered Alan. Of course I do, but there isn't much I can do about it, is there? I can't tell her to stop. She's a spirit, a ghost, with her own sense of what is right and what isn't, her own set of rules to be governed by. Besides which, I can't even see her. You saw her in that mirror. Yes, but that was different. How was it different? Well, I was clearly feeling everything Esmeralda felt when she first read that letter, but I wasn't face to face with her as such, was I? I couldn't hold a conversation with her because she was me and I was her. Jesus, this is verging on Wuthering Heights territory, don't you think? Eh? Oh, you know, think of that scene where Catherine Earnshaw tells her servant Nellie Dean, Heathcliff is more a part of me than I am. Ellen, I am Heathcliff. I'm not precisely sure I've got the wording spot on. Seems to lack the power of Emily Bronte's Virgin somehow, but you get the gist of my meaning. Yes, but if memory serves, at the stage of the story when the scene takes place, Heathcliff and Cathy are still very much alive, whereas in my case, Esmeralda had been dead for 100 years or more at the very least, and up till we arrived here I had no knowledge of her. Cathy and Heathcliff, by contrast, were confirmed lovers. That may be so, but the way you're describing your connection to Esmeralda, and how it fits into all of this, is quite disturbing from where I'm standing. And how does it all fit in? Alan shrugged. Who knows? I know this is all difficult to comprehend, assured Fiona as she took her husband affectionately by the hand. Believe me, I do. I'm finding it pretty hard to get my head around all this too. It sounds to me like you've got a good handle on it. But I don't, insisted Fiona. It's just that I've become attached to Esmeralda in a short space of time. I've warmed to a story of being parted from her husband in such a heartbreaking way when they had so recently been married. Anyone would be touched by a story like that. But as to why she's contacted me in this way and her purpose for doing so, well, I'm just as much in the dark about that as you. It is a puzzle, isn't it? Yes, it is. But hopefully all will be explained before too long. But for that to happen, Esmeralda will have to make an appearance. She will have to appear to me in physical form. I'm not sure when that will happen, but I'm hoping it's soon. Well, if she does show up, I hope she's every bit as friendly as you're making her out to be. The last thing we need when we're having such a good holiday is to have a disturbed ghost hovering over us. That wouldn't be very nice for the kids. It wouldn't be nice for any of us. But don't worry, all the indications I have of Esmeralda so far is that she's a harmless spirit who just wants answers as to what happened to her husband. Well, now I can tell her he didn't drown anyway. That should please her, although I would expect she'll know that by now. It seems every time I witness a part of the story unfolding, Esmeralda becomes aware of it. How do you know that? It was just something I can sense. If that's the case, why do you think there would be any need for Esmeralda to appear to you? She could just pick up the information required from the visions you're experiencing. No, Fiona shook her head. I think there's much more to it than that. I know she will show herself to me eventually to explain her reasons for contacting me. It's just something I feel about her. She's desperate to find out what happened to her husband and wants us to work together to achieve this end. You seem very sure about that. I am. Well, so now she knows he didn't die on that ship. Surely the matter will end there. No, I don't think so. I've got a feeling this is just the start of the story, not the end. I'm convinced there are plenty of twists and turns yet before we get to the bottom of the whole story. He survived the shipwreck, yes, and yet he clearly never returned to Esmeralda, or else she wouldn't be on the search for him. So why didn't he return to her if they were so much in love? That's one aspect of this story which simply doesn't add up. An enlightened expression now appeared on Alan's face. Yes, I see what you mean. So you think there's something else that happened to him, which stopped him from getting back to her? I do, and it's my job to find out what that something is. Do you think the journal will offer up any clues? It's funny you should mention that, because every time I have a vision, it comes directly after reading the journal. It's like there is a hidden gateway within the pages of that book, a connecting point between our time and theirs, which allows me to experience all that they experience. It's a form of magic, I reckon. It certainly sounds like it. Alan looked over at one of the stalls where he could see his children inspecting some toys which seemed to take their fancy. And it appears the kids are performing sort of magic of their own the way they're playing with those toys. We better get over before they go too far and damage one of them. Oh no, I'm sure they're okay. It wasn't them I was thinking of, it was the poor vendors' wares I was considering. Yes, all right, let's see what they're up to. But please try your best to keep all of this ghostly stuff away from the kids. I don't want them to know anything about this. It will only spook them, and I don't want them having nightmares. That would be no fun for them or us. That's fair enough. I know if I was a child and heard stories like this, it would get to me, especially when it's going on in my own home, or at least my holiday home. Good, that's settled then. The kids won't hear anything about this from us. Let's hope Esmeralda is so considerate. You don't think she would use whatever power she's got on the kids, do you? There were signs of worry on Alan's face as well as in his voice as he said this. No, I don't think she would. But if she doesn't get the answer she wants, the shrug which followed this remark, which hung in the air like a bad smell, was enough to bring a frown to Alan's forehead. Let's hope you don't find those answers then. So that's the end of that excerpt. I hope you enjoyed that. I'll hopefully be providing more excerpts from the Cornwall Ghost Story in the coming weeks. I'm looking to be a bit more regular with my videos, as I've been a bit negligent of that of late, so look out for more videos very soon. Thank you for watching this video, and I look forward to meeting with you again very soon. Bye for now.